there's an immense pressure, public pressure, tabloid pressure, of course on New Peter, but on the whole band. And someone said in a critic, it's perhaps your last chance to do a proper album. That's what the Musical Express, I think, said.
The game's up.
I felt that. I definitely felt that personally.
Time's up, boys.
We had to deliver a good album, or we would have got shot.
I had no doubts we were going to do it, though. I always knew we were going to do a good one.
I didn't know. I know it was touch and go, to be honest. I really didn't know. But then, the day that I heard Timo Bellini's,
The fucking waiters here.
and then the day that I heard the monitor mixes in the order that Steve was doing, and then that's when I knew. You know, I knew above all everything I learnt most certainly about morality would come from this album.
And how much would you say that thanks to Mick and to the one who produces the album, you changed it?
Well, Mick played his part.
Which part?
Huh?
Which part?
Sometimes no. Yeah, sometimes he plays his part.
The recluse in the toilet, mostly. Yeah. No. No, Nick was part of, incredible guitar playing and songwriting.
And in terms
Dirty Whitnell.
And in terms of production, what has changed with the new producer?
Well, in terms of production, just like by listening to it and seeing, hearing the production for yourself. It's hard to talk about because it's something that's, it's so indelibly linked to what it is itself. You can't really talk about these things. You can talk. Well, you can. You've proven it. You talk forever about a record, but really you just have to listen to it. You're a culture show, aren't you? You know these things. If we all sat around talking about books and paintings all day, without actually reading them or looking at them, then you'd soon run out of things to say. So I'd recommend listening to it. Don't listen to us. Don't listen to the critics. Don't listen to Stephen Street. Don't listen to Mick. listen to the record.
That's true. But in terms of the actual production process, there wasn't any kind of lights and cameras and kind of smoke and mirrors and tricks. Like it wasn't like a Timbaland weird techniques. It was basically just a band in a room.
Yeah, it wasn't how can we make this sound a certain way.
Yeah.
It was how can we make it sound exactly like it is.
He does live takes as well, Steve. It's like it's all he'll have us all playing at the same time. You start off with a click track, so you're keeping time at the beginning, and then you just take it off. It's not all clicked all the way through, and all. You start off, it gives you a pace, and then that's it. And you play it 40 times, and he'll record it and get the best one. That's how it was. It's just us in the studio.
Just a band in a room, but he made us play it right, and he's been recording bands for a long time. So it's like taking an audio photograph, if you will. You know what I mean? The record sounds like it sounded like in the room when we played it.
Regarding this, how do you look down an album?
It is what it is, really. You don't reflect on it. It's just like it's good, and it was at that time, and that's what it is.
Down album's a great collection of songs. Some amazing songs. There's something about that time. There's something dark, and there was something something we were trying to. I don't know what it is. There's something we're trying to avoid about that record. It's not the songs. The songs are great. The songs are fantastic. I love the songs. It's not the playing. There's just something to avoid about the record. It's like you've done it, and now it's like leave it alone. Don't open that dark sad door. But with this album, there's nothing really we're trying to avoid about it. There's things in Down album which will haunt us forever.
I think it's emotions, isn't it? It's emotions tied up in it.
It was a very dark time.
It's like with this album, it's like I've been playing music since I was 13, and I've never been truly satisfied with anything I've ever recorded. But like with this, it's weird. I still listen to it now. It's like, imagine how many times we heard each song in the studio over and over and over again. But it's weird. I still listen to it and enjoy listening to it. And it's kind of weird because like it's never happened to me before. The band I've been in, as soon as you record it, I never listen to it again. You know what I mean? That's it. I've had enough. But with this, it just seems to like. I I don't know.
There's something almost masturbatory about listening to you on a record.
Yeah.
But this record, it's like it's alright to have a wank every now and again.
I like it very much, and I think it has a great variety of sounds and rhythm changes, which are very elaborate.
Yeah.
Working on songs, do you believe in the concept of genius in the romantic sense?
Concept of
like a genius becoming his ideas, great ideas, perhaps by inspiration,
Muse?
or is it just work? Is it just work,
Wagner.
work?
Like Wagner.
Like Wagner, like romantic idea before, like courage, like.
Nietzsche.
Well, honesty. You mean with music, like just being
Genius, you said.
Well, if you go around calling yourself a genius, you're a bit of a knob, really, aren't you? It's like,
I don't think you mean genius in the literal sense. Are you talking about like a?
I am a genius.
I have nothing to declare except my genius.
No, that's just a saying. Working
There's
is
no geniuses in this band. Well, that's a work of genius. That's
Yeah.
So you mean literally genius?
Yes.
There's no geniuses around here, but the album's a work of genius, so we don't know really what to say. You know, call it what you will. You know.
Well, it's certainly not for us to say if it's genius or not.
Well, who else is it for us to say?
It's not us, mate.
It's up to us to say who it is to say it's genius.
Okay,
he knows that
You
I
can
know.
say
He
it.
knows that I know that he.
You know that I know that you know.
very clear. No, it's just the concept of working. It's just the concept. Some songwriters would say, you work hard. There's nothing of inspiration, nothing of genius. Nothing. All people could get to the same point. And the other concept would be, no, there's the concept of genius, which is, yes, a higher idea.
Yeah, the elevated.
Well, genius actually, if you look in the dictionary, just means something from the norm, really.
Does it?
Yeah. It's just like it's like, remember when you were going on about I wish not being right.
Harmonically.
Yeah. Then because it's not perfectly musically right, and it's something from the norm, that would be classed as genius in the real English literary sense.
I see.
Well, there you go.
Speaking of course, you started as a poet, Peter, at school, won prizes. Speaking of some kind of idols, there's a tradition in poetry, of course, perhaps beginning with Coleridge, who wrote poems after using laudanum. There's Baudelaire and Artificial Paradises, and there's Rimbaud and all these. I don't know if you want to answer it, but do you see a special role drugs play in your songwriting?
Not so much in songwriting, no. Definitely in kind of lifestyle. You're talking about Artificial Paradises, like, yeah, definitely creating a certain world, a certain aesthetic, and a certain taste in the mouth. But not with songwriting. No, I don't think so.
Don't think your songs reflect that lifestyle and that world in some way?
No, because I always try new songs to create their own, a new world, kind of to get out of that. You know, and it's never artificial either with a song. You know?
An escape from your escape.
Yeah.
Do you know what, when I was a kid though, all my mates used to listen to like late 60s reggae music. When I was really young, I didn't really like it. And I don't know if I should say this really, but I had smoked some marijuana. I was only 14, and someone put some reggae on again, right? And I was like, and it totally made me look at it in a different way. And cannabis has helped me a lot with music, I must say, but I don't know if that's a good thing to say. I don't want loads of kids going out and starting smoking dope. But yeah, it does make you hear different things stand out sometimes. But it's different for lyricists, but I like the music side of things. So, but yeah, with music, it does put a different slant on it. Truth be known, for me personally, anyway. But those days are gone anyway, so just doing it on a straight head these days. Still doing all right.
Is it a way, just like William Blake, Road of Access leads to the Pillars of Wisdom? Is it like a new way of gates of perception? Is it a new way to perceive things, to really see things completely different?
Yeah, it can be, but I don't know if it's that conducive to actually getting things done. You know, it can be a new way of experiencing things, experiencing music and experiencing love and life, but it's not really that good for getting things written so much. You don't really want to write, I find. Taking lots of drugs, you don't really want to get sort of knuckled down, and then when you do it out of kind of a desperation. It's always on the same sort of theme, you know, really bad handwriting and blood all over the page, and just an air of morbid, like resonance.
Poisons and intoxicants have been used by poets and artists like forever.
Poisons and intoxicants.
Yeah, well, basically, I think there's an essential difference between drug use and drug abuse, you know. And obviously, if you take something that's going to alter your perception, your output is going to be altered because your perception's altered. But it's a very fine line between that and ruining your life.
Yeah, you just have to try and ride it as best you can, you know.
Ride the snake.
But I will say it's the poisoned. It's the poison oyster that gives you the pearl.
I'd agree with that.
Well, it is.
Beautiful, man.
What is the title? Shatter's Nation.
So,
Sorry.
jack up, kids. I mean,
So, what is the title, Shatter's Nation? What does it mean?
it doesn't. Sorry, it's bottle consumption. It doesn't mean anything at all. It's just got a nice ring to it. It was written on Paul Rowe's wall. Professor Rowe. Alas.
I thought he's got a cold at the moment.
I see.
That's it. That's it.
I just wondered, thinking of the title, Shatter's Nation, of course, down in Albion, meaning, of course, an ancient concept, an idealistic concept, perhaps, of England, always refers to the nation, perhaps to society. Is songwriting for you just something you make out with yourself, or is it like a struggle with society? There's certain rules in society, perhaps, for you?
We've always kind of outside society. We haven't been able to afford to indulge ourselves really with conventional ways of, you know, going about the day.
It's what it's satisfied with, isn't it? It's
rituals. We haven't had any part in society, you know, at all. We've got our own. You know, fortunately, it's a world separate from that. What? It's a dreamlike state.
No, it's like what if you're satisfied. It's like I've got lots of brothers and sisters, and they live up north in England, and they're satisfied working in factories or whatever, you know, and that does them. But each individual, you got to strive for what you need within yourself, and I can't go and work in a factory. I'd rather blow my head off, you know what I mean? But it's just as is music, and that's it for me.
I know, it's strange, isn't it? Because like before any of us were doing well in a band, like we were still the same people, you know.
Yeah.
And it was considered being vaguely marginalised from traditional values of getting a job and settling down and getting a mortgage and having 2.4 kids and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of frowned upon, you know. But then when you start selling records, you know, you find all these people that were trying to give you advice and saying, quit this music bollocks, you're 24, you need to get a trade. They're slapping you on the back saying, I always knew you were going to make it.
Yeah,
you know?
so there's two different kinds of musician as well. It's like, a lot of my mates in Camden, they're like, well, you know, you're getting on a bit, you know, you've got to sort yourself out. What are you going to do? You know, this music lark's never going to work. And it's like, well, and it's like, well, this guy is going, I'm 30 soon. I'm going to pack the music lark in and start teaching. It's like you either do or you don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you sell lots of records or not. If you're satisfied with what you're doing, it's like Johnny Rotten says, find your own thing. You know, it's like as long as you're satisfied within yourself, that's it.
Doesn't matter if you're living in a fucking squat eating cold baked beans out of a tin that you've opened with a penknife, or you sat in a expensive hotel waiting to play the MTV Music Awards. You know, if you're being yourself, then you can sleep at night.
I always thought I was going to be a tramp when I was a kid.
I can sleep at night.
You look very tired right now.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to look for places on the bridges and think, oh, that looks all right.
It's a freedom, yeah, isn't it? It's that freedom thing. I think musicians, like, innately, they want to be free to do everything.
Yeah. Last question, I think it has to be. I regret it very much. Just going back to the immense pressure you had, normally the lead singer is exposed, of course, of a bit. But Peter, you're exposed in a very, very special way. You're on the tabloids, even in Germany. We have many things, really, yes. And how does this feel for the band?
It's all lies.
For the members?
All lies.
Just ignore it, really. You just let it wash over you.
Bollocks.
Alright, it really affects me.
Sometimes it affects. I was saying in another interview, it perpetuates because then the police become involved, you know, and people's liberty is at stake because of these, you know, tabloid people, and it does make a difference to Peter's life more than any other, you know, with the rest of us, obviously. And I hate it. I hate seeing him get arrested just because people know who he is, you know. Any other person on the street don't get arrested every day just because the police know their face, you know what I mean? It's tabloids got a lot to answer for sometimes.
It makes us feel protective, you know what I mean? It makes us, when one of your mates is having a hard time or has been hounded, it makes you piss boil, you know what I mean? It makes you angry. But I mean, like Adam said first, it'd be nice to just not let it affect you. And obviously, we don't get it on the chin as much as Peter does, but it's horrible, and I wish it would stop.
Yeah, especially if you've got a cold sore and they're snapping away, you know what I mean? I don't mind so much, I'm looking alright, but...
You're just working out off the train from Scotland.
Yeah, it's weird.
I was swinging like McGuigan at Euston, I swear.
Swinging like McGuigan.
I was.
They can pick and choose the photos they take.
You'd gone. You'd got off the train and gone home and left me sleeping on the train.
What happened?
We come out at Euston, there was all paparazzi there. I started kicking them like the arse and fly kicking them and that.
Hey, what was this?
And we got back from Glasgow.
Really?
We've had our own back on the paparazzi a few times though, it's like, especially the Italian ones, they had it.
There's a few bin bags at the bottom of the Thames, I can tell you.
Is it a perhaps a mistake then to expose so much of your private life in your lyrics?
Oh.
It's not his lyrics that they give a fuck about, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's the...
Yeah, I do expose some of the private life in the lyrics, but you know, there's a lot of things I don't say. Yeah.
Thank God.
Pleasure.
Thanks a lot.